This is part 3 of The Devil's Highway. The semi's horn filled the night, a sound that didn't just rattle the air, but dug straight into our bones, vibrating like some monstrous heartbeat. "Head on!" Matt shouted, his voice breaking. "He's coming right for us!" The headlights grew, a white inferno eating up the darkness ahead. My palms slipped on the wheel, slick with sweat. I had seconds, maybe less, before the phantom rig plowed into us. "Hold on!" I screamed. I wrenched the wheel, sending the Explorer off the asphalt, tires spitting gravel as we tore into the desert scrub. The semi thundered past where we'd been a heartbeat ago, its blast of horn shattering the night as it roared down the highway. I floored it, bumping over rocks and brush until I could angle back onto the road. The Explorer slammed against the pavement, hard enough to rattle our teeth. Nobody spoke. Nobody breathed. Matt twisted in his seat, eyes wide, revolver still clutched tight. It just kept going. "Like it never saw us," Jules whispered. Her nails dug deep into her arms. Renee's eyes never left the windshield. "No, it saw us. It just wants to play." I wanted to argue, but then the road curved again. It wasn't like the other bends. This one twisted sharply around a jagged canyon. The guardrail bent and broken in half a dozen places. White crosses littered the roadside like teeth. Dead Man's Curve. My heart sank. I knew the legend. Everyone who grew up in Arizona knew it. Drivers swore something pulled their wheels on this stretch, a cold hand twisting the steering, and more than a few cars had gone over the edge. We slowed as we approached, the Explorer headlights sweeping across the broken railing, the void of the canyon yawning wide to our left. Renee whispered, "Don't let go. Whatever happens, do not let go of the wheel." That's when the air changed. It got colder, heavy, like the oxygen was being sucked away. My breath fogged the glass, and the wheel tugged hard. It jerked left, toward the cliff. I tightened my grip, fighting it with every muscle in my arms. The wheel yanked again, stronger this time. Jules screamed, clutching at her seatbelt. "It's pulling us." Matt leaned over, trying to help me wrestle it back, his face red with strain. The wheel felt alive, veins of force throbbing beneath the leather, pulling toward the drop. The headlights caught something ahead. A car. No, what was left of one. Twisted metal, burned out, resting against the broken guardrail. Steam still hissed from the wreck, like it only just happened. A shape sat inside, a woman, her head slumped against the wheel. Blood streaked across her face. Her eyes fluttered open, staring directly at us. Then she smiled and mouthed, "Join me." The wheel jerked violently. The Explorer swerved, tires shrinking as they scraped the edge of the asphalt. Rocks tumbled into the canyon below, swallowed by endless black. Matt screamed, shoving against the wheel. with everything he had. Renee clutched the dash, praying under her breath. Jules sobbed, eyes squeezed shut. I roared and yanked back, vines plunging in my arms, fighting whatever invisible hand was pulling us. The wheel finally snapped free. The Explorer lurched right, away from the edge, back into the middle of the road. The wreck was gone. The woman was gone. Nothing but broken railing and a dark canyon remained. My chest heaved. My arms shook so badly I almost dropped the wheel. Then Renee said the words that chilled me worse than anything else. "That wasn't the curve," she whispered. We all turned to her, eyes wide. "What?" Matt rasped. Her face was pale, almost luminous in the dark. "That was just a warning." Then we saw it. The real curve. The road ahead dropped into an insane spiral, banking hard around the canyon wall, tighter and sharper than any turn should be. The railing was gone here, twisted away entirely, and waiting at the far end of the bend, sitting in the middle of the road, was the semi. Its headlights blazed brighter than ever, its horn low and steady, like it was daring us to make the turn. The wheel jerked again, harder. This time, it wanted us to go faster. Straight into the curve, straight into the abyss. The wheel fought me like a living thing, jerking left, demanding I give in. The semi's blinding beams filled the road ahead, waiting like the jaw of a shark of a trap. "Evan," Minnie's voice cracked. "If we don't make the turn, we're dead." My chest burned. The Explorer's tires screeched as I twisted the wheel, forcing us into the spiral. Gravity pressed us hard into our seats, the canyon yawning black beside us. The railing was gone. One wrong twitch and we'd be airborne. The wheel strained against me, twisting left, always left, trying to pull us over. My shoulders screamed with the effort of holding on. Matt grabbed the dash, shouting something I couldn't hear. We rounded the bend, the semi dead ahead, its horn steady, now, like a scream drawn out for eternity. The headlights weren't beams anymore. They were walls of light, searing, swallowing everything. The last thing I saw was the canyon edge flashing in the glow. Then, darkness. No crash, no impact, just silence. The Explorer crossed it smoothly, like nothing had happened. The semi was gone, the canyon gone. Even the curve was gone. The road was straight again, endless and flat, stretching forward into the desert night. Nobody spoke. Our breathing was only sound. Jules finally whispered, Did we die?" No one answered. But as our headlights swept across the pavement, we saw it, a mile maker. White, weathered, leaning in the sand. 13. Matt cursed under his breath. No. We passed 13 an hour ago." "There's only 1 mile marker 13, Renee said hollowly. "If you're still seeing it, you're not free yet." The desert around us had changed. It was flatter, emptier. No scrub brush, no rocks, no signs of life. Just sand stretching forever. Then I noticed the shapes. At first, they looked like shadows scattered across the sand. But as the headlights hit them, they became clear. Crosses. Hundreds of them. Some crude wood, others stone. Some topped, some new. Every single one a grave. Jules whimpered, covering her face. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. And then something stepped onto the road. A man. Or what was left of one. His skin charred black, clothes flushed to flesh, jaw hanging loose, smoke curled off his body as if he'd just crawled out of a fire. He raised a hand, not waving, pointing at us. I swerved, missing him by inches. The Explorer rocking as tires screeched. When I looked in the rearview mirror, he was gone. But another figure stepped out ahead. Then another. Then dozens. Burned. Broken. Mangled figures. Drivers. Passengers. Victims of the highway curse. Crawled out of this desert. Stumbling into the road. Their eyes glowed faintly, reflecting off our headlights. They moved like puppets, jerked by invisible strings, all turning towards us at once. Matt lifted the revolver. Jesus, what do I... Don't! Renee snapped. Don't shoot. That's what it wants. The figure closed in, their movements jerky, unnatural. Their mouths hung open, and a sound rose from them all at once. Not words, a single low moan. It grew louder, vibrating the glass, filling the car until my skull ached. The Explorer slowed. My foot pressed the gas, but the engine strained like we were driving through water. The speedometer dropped. 40, 35, 30. Though the pedal was floored. They're pulling us in, Renee whispered. The figures gathered around, pressing close. One slammed its burned face against the windshield, cracking spiderwebbing across the glass. Another clawed at the door handle, nails screeching. Jules screamed, sobbing in her hands. Gun, I shouted. Do it, Matt. Matt hesitated for only a second. Then he fired. The bullet tore through the windshield, shattering it outward. The burned figure jerked back, but didn't fall. Instead, it smiled. The moaning grew louder, defending now, vibrating through the frame of the Explorer. My teeth rattled. The headlights flickered, then cut out. We were swallowed in black, and in the suffocating dark, the moaning became words. Hundreds of voices whispering in unison. Mile Maker 13. Stay forever. The Explorer shuddered in the dark, casting forward even though I couldn't see the road. The whispers swirled inside the cabin, under our skin, in our bones. Stay forever. Jules was sobbing, rocking in her seat, fingers jammed against her ears. Matt was pale, revolver shaking in his hands. Renee was too still, her eyes fixed on the windshield. Then the headlights flared back to life. But the desert was gone. Instead, the Explorer rolled slowly into a town that shouldn't exist. Buildings lined either side of the road, old gas stations with broken pumps, dinners with shattered windows, motels slumped and rotting. Neon signs buzzed faintly, letters flickering in and out, spelling nothing. It was empty, silent, frozen, but not abandoned. Figures stood in the windows, pale faces pressed against the glass, their eyes glowing faintly white, watching us. I pressed the gas. The explorer crept forward. A sign loomed at the edge of the town. Rusted but still legible. Welcome to Peridon. Rennie whispered in the name like a curse. This is where they all go. Every crash, every death, every soul. Highway 666 takes. Jules whimpered. We can't stay here. Please, I can't. But the road narrowed. Buildings leaned closer, their shadows stretching across the pavement, squeezing us inward. We rolled past the dinner. The figures inside shifted as we passed. Waitresses in the burned uniforms, truckers with twisted necks, children with hollow eyes. They didn't blink. They didn't move. They just stared. The Explorer's engine sputtered, coughing like it was choking. The wheel locked under my hands. We coasted to a stop in the middle of the town. Silence. Then the figures stepped out. Dozens of them, pouring from the buildings, staggering onto the road. Some burned, some broken, some blood-soaked. Every one of them a victim of the highway. They circled us, closing in tight. Rennie leaned forward, whispering fast, desperate. Don't open the doors. Don't look them in the eye. If you do, you'll never leave. But Matt was already panicking. He aimed the revolver at the nearest one, a tall man in a trucker's cap, with half his skull caved in. The man leaned down, staring in through the window, his jaw hanging loose. Matt pulled the trigger. The gun clicked. Nothing. He tried again. Click. Again. Click. The revolver was useless. The trucker's ruined mouth curled upward, and then, all at once, they spoke. Not moaning this time. Words. A chorus, hundreds of voices, layered on top of each other, spilling out, broken. Stay. Join us. Drive forever. The doors rattled, handles shook, fingers clawed the glass, leaving streaks of blood and ash. The Explorer rocked as they pressed against it, pushing, trying to tip us over. Jules shrieked, We're not getting out. We're not. But then she looked up. Something towered above the town. I followed her gaze. It rose at the far end of the road. Beyond the crooked buildings, a church, or what's left of one. Its steep twisted, leaning like it was melting. A red glow pulsed inside the broken windows, throbbing like a heartbeat, and standing in front of it, waiting for us, was the semi. Its headlights burned blood red now. Its grill like jagged teeth. Steam hissed from the exhaust, like breath from a monster's nostrils. The figures around us stopped clawing. They turned as one, their glowing eyes shifting towards the church. Then, slowly, they began walking in that direction. One by one, silent, drawn, the road cleared around us. Renee's voice trembled. That's it. That's where the road ends. What happens if we drive there? I asked, my voice raw. She didn't look back at me. didn't look at anyone, just whispered, "You don't come back." The semi's horn blared, long, low, final, and the explorer lurched forwards, without my foot on the gas. The explorer roared forward on its own, carried by something unseen. My hands locked on the wheel, but it didn't matter. The tires obeyed the road, not me. Ahead, the wrapped church pulsed with a red light. The semi idled before it, massive and waiting, steam hissing from its stacks. Its headlights glared like eyes that had been watching since the first mile. All around, the dead shuffled closer, forming a procession. Burned faces, broken bodies, hollow eyes. They moved towards the church like worshippers returning to their altar. Renee whispered, "This is where it takes them, where it keeps them." "No," Jules sobbed, clinking to the seat. "I don't want to go in there. Evan, please, don't let..." Her voice broke as the explorer jolted, accelerating 50, 60, 70. The engine roared through my foot, hovered, useless above the gas. We tore down the narrow road, straight at the church. "Brake!" Matt screamed, slamming his hands on the dash. I stomped the pedal. Nothing. The brakes were dead. The church grew larger, its steeple riding against the black sky. Inside, the red light flared, spilling across the sand like blood. Then, just as we were about to crash through its doors, the explorer screeched to a halt. The semi's horn blasted, shaking the glass. Its cab loomed over us, grill inches from the hood, headlights burning into our skulls. The doors unlocked, all four at once. Click. We froze. The voices rose again, hundreds, whispering, "Come inside, stay forever, the road never ends." The handles jiggled, hands clawed at the doors, trying to open them. Jules screamed, pressing herself against me. Matt raised the useless revolver, his eyes wild. Then Renee moved. Before I could stop her, she shoved her door open. The crowd surged towards her. Figures reached out, clawing, grabbing. She stepped out anyway, shaking, tears streaking her face. "I can hold it back," she said. "Someone has to." "No," I lunged, but burned hands grabbed me through the open door, pulling me back. Jules shrieked as more hands pushed inside. Renee met my eyes, calm for the first time all night. "Go, don't look back." And then she ran. Straight toward the church. The crowd followed, dozens, breaking off to chase her. The semi's horn blared, shaking the ground. Renee didn't slow. She vanished into the pulsing red glow. The figures after her followed, and the ones holding us let go. The explorer roared, jerking forward. The doors slammed shut. The locks clicked down, and the car turned itself around. We sped away from the church, away from the semi, back through the twisted town. The buildings melted into darkness behind us. The whispers faded, and suddenly, just like that, we were back on Highway 491. Normal pavement, desert star above, a green sign by the roadside, Gullup, 32 miles. Jules was sobbing in her hands. Matt dropped the revolver, staring blankly ahead. My own chest felt hollow, like half of me had been ripped away. None of us spoke. We drove until the sun rose, its first light breaking over the desert hills. When we finally reached Gullup, the town was alive and bustling. Cars honked, people walked the sidewalks. The world looked normal again. But I knew better, because when I pulled onto a gas station and stepped out, I glanced back at the highway. For just a second, I saw. The sign didn't say 491, it said 666. And on the far horizon, a pair of headlights glowed red, waiting for the next traveler. It's been years since that night, and I still dream of Rennie. Sometimes I see her standing in the church doorway, bathed in red light. Sometimes she's behind the wheel of the phantom semi, horn blaring as she bears down on me. The highway was renamed. They thought numbers could kill legends, but the devil doesn't care about names. It only cares about the road. And someday soon, it'll call back.